Hey, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantom, and I want to start out this video like I start out every video and just say thank you to everybody who is watching me, whether it be your first time or you've been here before and you continue to come back just to show your support. It means a lot, so thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate it. With that, I do have a very, very exciting video to present to you guys today, something that I'm excited about. I love going through these videos on a weekly basis. Last week I missed out on one because I was sick, but typically we'll go through on Sundays and we'll talk about treasure hunting in your bulk. We're going to do something a little bit different this week, as you can see with the thumbnail, and we're going to talk about the top 10 cards, top 10 selling cards in December of 2020. So TCG Player, which you guys know I'm a huge advocate of, both for selling and also for research. I'm not a huge fan of buying on there. I don't spend a ton of money on there just because I don't find a ton of deals on there. However, when you are somebody who is looking to fill out a collection or somebody who's looking at stuff for competitive play, TCG Player is definitely a good resource because it has a lot of different vendors on there and it's basically the market. So when I talk about TCG Player from a selling outlook, I know for a fact there's a lot of sales that can happen on there because I have personally done a lot of sales on TCG Player. I know for a fact that there's a lot of good resources on there because I have learned a lot from TCG Player, and a lot of the tools that they provide you with are amazing. So TCG Player sent out an email. If you have a seller account, you may have gotten it. But basically it went over the top 10 performing cards in the Pokemon industry for December of 2020. So we're going to go over those, kind of examine them to see if maybe you have any lying around at home. And the reason this video is so important to me is because it really talks about something that I've been saying for months now, and that is this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not something where you can just go buy a Charizard card for $10 and you can sell it for $216,000 and you can retire. The only time that I made a ridiculous amount of money on a Pokemon card was one day when I was younger. It was a few years ago now. I found a first edition Dark Dragonite Error card in a binder that I purchased on eBay. It just happened to be laying in there. I paid $35 for the binder. I noticed the Dragonite right away. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I should say. In the Team Rocket set, there is an error card for Dark Dragonite where it is the number 5. However, it is a non-holographic version. So if you remember the older WOTC sets, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, the numerical order of the card number, those were holographics. Then it went to rares. Then it went to uncommons. Then it went to commons. Then usually it would go to trainer cards. So the non-holographic version of Dark Dragonite, I believe, is actually number 22. And there was a first edition Dark Dragonite that I pulled out of a binder. It had the number 5 on it. I verified it. I authenticated it. I sent it out to PSA. It got graded. It got graded an 8. I ended up selling it for $10,000. That was a few years ago. So those deals do happen every once in a blue moon, but it does not happen frequently. So if you're somebody who's looking at supporting your hobby and just make a few extra bucks every day, or a couple extra $100 every day, or if you're somebody who's looking at getting into this business long term and supplement your income, or if you're somebody who just wants to try buying and selling just for fun, these are the kind of margins that you should expect. These are the kind of cards you should get used to selling. So we're going to go through those today. Hope you like what you hear. If you do, hit that subscribe button down below. We're really close to 30,000 subscribers. I can't wait. I also have talked before about how I'm taking a week off, so I'll be able to record some more. I'll be able to do some live. We're going to do 2 vintage box breaks. The fossil set, I believe, is already sold out. I'm going to put the Team Rocket up soon, but I also want to do a modern break, so let me know down in the comments below what you would like me to break. I would either maybe like to do a case of tins of Hidden Fates tins, which they're right here behind me, or I would like to do maybe some shiny V boxes. So let me know in the comment section down below. But with that being said, let's get into today's video. I have them kind of numbered here, so we're going to start with the top 10. So number 10 right away, this is Capture Energy. So this came from the Rebel Clash set, so you can read it for yourself or I'll read it to you, but it says, when you attach this card from your hand to your Pokemon, search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. So very competitive card, something where all you have to do is attach this energy. It gives you search possibilities, very cool. This card is selling for about $1 right now, so nothing outstanding, but if you're somebody who has a ton of these, if you open up a lot of packs, if you're sitting on 25, 50 of these, that's 25, 50 bucks, which isn't bad. Number 9 is Zeon V, and this is definitely because of playability. This card is popular. It has a main series set release, as we see in the Sword and Shield base set. Then it's also got a battle deck that it came out in, so it's also a promo card. This is selling for about $2.50. Not an expensive V by any means, but you can buy bulk Vs all day for about $1 to $1.25 a piece, so you can double your margins right then and there. You can pick these up for about $1.25 in a lot of bulk lots. So not a bad profit margin there if you can double your money. Zeon V, very competitive card. You see it a lot in standard format right now, especially on PTCGO. Raiku, amazing rare from Vivid Voltage, is number 8. So for 120 damage, it does Amazing Shock. This attack also does 120 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I honestly don't know why this is in the top 10. From a competitive standpoint, I don't think it looks that good. The artwork on it is amazing. It is an amazing rare from Vivid Voltage. Vivid Voltage is low when it comes to print, so until we get our massive print run, which looks like it's going to be at the beginning of January, it makes sense for some of these cards that are just really staples of the Pokemon history as far as Pokemon Go to have some value associated with them. So Raiku, amazing rare. This is selling for about $9.50. So the idea that these amazing rares were going to completely tank as soon as Vivid Voltage came out because you get 2 per box, not so much, because these are selling for a lot better than what a lot of the bulk Vs sell for, or even the regular Vs that you wouldn't consider bulk. So that's pretty cool. So that's Raiku right there. Number 7 is also from Vivid Voltage, and this is the Pikachu V. It also makes sense that this would be up there just because Pikachu is a staple from just collectors. It's obviously a fan favorite. It's the OG Pokemon. It's the first one that Ash ever took, or Ash ever got, so it's a very, very important Pokemon, very iconic, and this is the first ultra rare in a main series set for Pikachu for the entire Sword and Shield block. So we've got Pikachu V from Vivid Voltage. This is not an expensive card by any means. This is only selling for a couple bucks, but if you have, 10, 20, 30 of them lying around, or you were buying them for $1 a piece, you can double your margins on that, which is really cool. Next up, we have Crowbar V, and this is purely for competitive purposes. It's got 180 HP. This came out in Darkness Ablaze. This card itself is selling for about $13, which is one of the most expensive regular art Vs you will find. It's got that Dark Acid ability, and I know it's pretty blurry right now, so you can't really read it. But basically, what this does is, as soon as you lay this down onto your bench from your hand, you get to draw up to 6 cards into your hand. So you can only use one of these per turn, which is a little different than what you may have seen in the Roaring Sky set with Shaman EX, where you could lay down a Shaman EX and draw cards up until you had 6, but you could play multiple Shaman per turn. This one, you can only use this ability once per turn, but it basically does the same thing. It lets you lay down a Crowbar V, use that Dark Acid ability, and then you can draw up to 6 cards in your hand, so it really helps with consistency as far as decks go. Crowbar V, I do expect this one to continue to rise in price because this is going to be a staple throughout all of standard competitive play. So as soon as competitive play becomes open again, which we are, like I said before in the Battle Styles video, we are kind of hoping for around March, April. I do expect Crowbar V to be its staple and probably increase even more as far as pricing goes. So number 5 is really no surprise. This is the Charizard V from the Champions Path Elite Trainer box. So this is the promo that came with the Elite Trainer box. This is selling right now for about $11, but a lot of us are sitting on a ton of copies of it. I personally would recommend sitting on these copies for a long time. I know that Champions Path has had multiple print runs, and we are on its 3rd wave as far as Elite Trainer boxes go. So there's a ton of these out there, and there are a ton of them that are going to get graded, and a ton of them that are there at PSA right now getting graded. However, with that being said, I think Charizard is obviously a staple. The art looks really cool on it. There's no other full art Charizard V except for the shiny version of it. It's just a cool looking card, and it's unique because you can only get it in Elite Trainer boxes from Champions Path. So I do think it will continue to rise in price throughout the years. Right now, it wouldn't be a bad investment to buy up some copies at $10 to $15 a piece, just because they're good to hold for long-term investment purposes, in my opinion. Number 4 is Scoop Up Net. We have talked about this before on this channel, but basically this is just a very, very good competitive card, and that's why it's number 4 on our list. It sells for about $1 right now, so it has dipped down in price quite a bit, but basically this card lets you put one of your Pokemon that isn't a Pokemon V or a Pokemon GX into your hand. So all you have to do is lay this card down. There's no coin flip involved in it at all, which is really cool, but you lay this card down. You can do this as many times as you want per turn. Pick up one of those cards that are on your bench, and maybe you want to put it back down to activate its ability again. Maybe you want to take it off of your bench because it's a liability on your bench. Whatever the reason may be, this is going to be a staple in the standard format for quite some time. So if they stop printing this card to oblivion, I do expect it to continue to increase in price throughout the standard format as long as it is in standard format. However, it really depends on how many print runs it has. So that is number 4. That is Scoop Up Net. We're going to move on to number 3, which is the Dedenne GX. This is an alternate art promo card in specific, number 195A out of 214. This came out of the trainer box, the trainer toolkit that we had, where it had a Dedenne JX, and then it also had a ton of just staple cards, a bunch of playable cards in it, a few booster packs. But basically the reason this card is so good is because of the Dedenne change ability that it has. Basically what it says, I know it's tough to read again, but when you put this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards. You can't use more than one Dedenne change per turn. However, very, very playable card. Again, really helps with consistency as far as your deck goes. Helps you reset your hand, draw 6 new cards. Very cool. The artwork on it is really cool. A lot of people are big fans of this. I know the trainer toolkit was printed a ton, so there's a lot of copies out there. However, this still sells for about $3.50. You can find this a lot in bulk also, so $1 to $1.25 per GX copy. So you should be able to buy a ton of these up at $1 to $1.25, and then you can sell them for about $3.50 a piece on TCG Player in specific. Other outlets obviously are available, and you'd be looking at approximately the same cost. So that's number 3 for sales in the month of December. Number 2, no surprise right here, another Charizard card. This is from the Vivid Voltage set. This is obviously just for the purpose of collectors. Very cool art card on this. Charizard from Vivid Voltage is just a rare card, but Battle Sense is its ability. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put one of them into your hand. Very good ability. However, it's a stage 2, so it's difficult to get out. And then for 2 Fire Energy, it does Royal Blaze. This attack does 50 more damage for each Leon card in your discard pile. So you're probably looking at, when you want to get this off, 200 to 250 damage. So it's a decent card. It does have some possibility of being played, I guess, if the format allows for it, because it's going to move a little bit more slowly to set up. But right now, the reason that it's so expensive is more expensive is probably just because of the collectability of it. It is selling for about $2 right now on TCG Player. Finally, number 1, and the highest selling, most popular card on TCG Player is Boss's Orders. So this in particular is the deck exclusive card. So it's not, this also came out in the Trainer's Toolkit, but it's not the Holo Rare which you saw come out in Rebel Clash. Still a popular card. This one is a little bit cheaper. It sells for about $2.50, but you should be able to find a fair amount of these, especially in bulk, because it is a rare card, not a holo rare card, but a lot of people bulk these out because they opened up so many different copies of it. But Boss's Orders is number 1. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. So this is the same effect as Lysander that we saw in the, XY era. So very, very cool, very playable card, and that's why it's so expensive, but it's a little bit more difficult to pull because it is a holo rare in Rebel Clash. However, it became a little bit cheaper when it came out in the Trader's Toolkit. So that is number 1. These are the top 10 cards that sold on TCG Player in December of 2020. So if you have some of these cards lying around, if you have a TCG Player account, or even if you don't have a TCG Player account, if you're sitting on multiple copies of these cards, they should be fairly easy to sell. A lot of them sell for collector value, but a lot of them, the majority of them sell because of their ability to play in the competitive format. I would definitely look around for some of these because there's obviously quite a need for these. Like I said in the past video, TCG Player sales were increased 400% throughout this past year, and I know a lot of that had to do with everything that's going on in the world, but I don't expect it to change anytime soon. And they continue to update the Pokemon inventory on TCG Player, so definitely something to look out for if you are somebody who is looking at doing this on a more consistent basis, opening up your own TCG shop, whether it be online or in person. These are great tools to look at. These are your margin cards. These are the cards that are going to continue to keep your doors open. You're going to want to sell, hundreds of copies of these cards on a weekly basis. When we were doing, 2,000 to 3,000 sales per week on TCG Player, these were the cards that we were focusing on. These are the cards that we're pulling out of bulk all the time. These are the cards that we're listing and selling and moving. And yeah, it can become a lot to pack up all these orders on a nightly basis. But the best way that you're going to hit that income level that you want to get is just keep pushing yourself. So start out at a consistent amount and then continue to raise the bar up until you feel comfortable. As long as you're not getting overwhelmed and you feel like you can do everything properly without losing sight of things and without getting mixed up and without sending out wrong orders and making errors and having inaccuracies, it's important to continue to push that envelope. That's really going to increase your bottom line. So I hope you enjoyed the content that we provided today. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Really appreciate you guys. Love having you here. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Until next time, guys. Peace.